Okay, just arrived up here at Hacking Lake, Lady Peak. Time to get my pack together. Alright, time to show you what I'm taking with me. Got my coat, sleeping bag. I've got a rain jacket in case it's raining on me but not cold enough to wear my coat. I've got a metal cup to boil water in. Knowing me, I'm going to need my water filter because I'll stay hydrated better if I can just fill up my water bottle and take a drink, since I'm going to be hiking around, moving around. But I do intend to use my metal cup to purify some water, maybe boil some food to prepare it. Got my paracord, got my fire starter. This is magnesium, that's a ferro rod. This is the knife that I'm going to be taking with me, of course one of my handmade ones. Let's see, and the last main thing is my tarp. Then on the rest of this stuff is just kind of incidental stuff. Of course I'm going to have my wallet and my keys, pen and notebook, because I like to keep track of what I'm doing. That's kind of my journal. I read my scriptures every day, make a point of doing that. And of course my camera stand, my broken camera stand. Oh well. Then everything's going to be going in this backpack here, so I'll put it together. One other thing I forgot to show that I'm bringing is some fish hooks. So there, now you have everything that I'm taking with me. Got it all put together, ready to go. A little bit redneck, but that's okay. Okay, here I go. First order is probably to keep my eye out for food. I plan to get over to a lake. I can't remember the name of it. It's got kind of a goofy name. Once I get there, my first order is going to be to build a fire. And if I can't get a fire going by a certain time, then I'm going to be calling it off and hiking back to the truck. I'll get back to the truck in the dark, but I really want to be able to have a fire while I'm out there. So anyway, I'm gonna try and get out there to my destination, keep my eye out for mushrooms and edible plants and stuff along the way, and then get a fire going and get my shelter built and be ready to turn in for the night. Got my first wildlife. A little spike buck and a couple of does. Nice view. All right, I made it over the hill, looking down kind of into the Dry Fork drainage now. I can't remember what peak that is. But anyway, there's Lady Peak. My truck's on the other side of it. Took me about 2 hours to hike to this point, and now I'm on my way to go find Mope or Moop Lake, something like that. This is so cool. I'm actually doing this. Actually going on a survival trip, not bringing food with me, going it solo, and going into some territory that I haven't been. I'm actually exploring. This is neat. I'm getting into some new territory. Never been out here before. Well, that's an interesting pine tree. It's the most uniquely shaped one I've ever seen. I just heard an elk bugle. Hoping he'll do it again soon. think I found my lake that I'm gonna stay my first night at. Oh, son of a gun. There's a coyote. Let's see, did I find my dinner? Sweet! Yeah, I believe I can eat this one. Yes! Okay, so I'm next to the lake. The lake's just through the trees there. That I want to stay the night at. Got a creek running out of it. Just kind of give you a look at the area. I need to figure out where I want my camp to be and get it set up. Actually, I think first I will start a fire and then I will figure out where I want my camp to be. Then I can move my fire if necessary. So I gathered up some materials. I got some dead or dead-ish grass, some really fine little pieces of pine tree twigs. I made some shavings off of my log here. Sorry I didn't do more of this on camera, but right now it's kind of late in the day. I just want to focus more on survival rather than cinematography. So now I'm going to use my handy dandy magnesium fire starter. I'm just going to start scraping a bunch of pieces off of it until I get a good pile. So we'll pause the video for now. Okay, here we go again. I've got my pile of magnesium here. As soon as I strike and get it lit, I'm going to move my grass over and I'm going to pick up my first little tinder deal and then set it on top and kind of keep adding things and hope that it works the first time. Come on. There we go. Ouch. Awesome. How often do you see that? One strike and success. Of course, maybe I shouldn't speak too soon. Ouch. Might have smothered it. Burn, baby, burn. There we go. Don't smother your fire. Gotta be prepared, but not too prepared. Woohoo! Yes! I will be warm and have a friend tonight. Life is good. Okay, I think I got my method for putting up my tarp and shelter and whatnot figured out. So, bear with me. that's more or less going to be it. If it rains, which I expect it probably will, at least a little bit tonight, the tarp is going to keep the rain coming off over here. It'll keep it from running down the rock in the back and soaking my sleeping bag back there, hopefully. I might have to do a little bit more rearranging here. But anyway, that's the general idea. Should be able to stay relatively dry tonight. So I went and got some big old trees, packed them over here for my firewood, put them on the fire. Got some pretty good sized logs on there, and that's quite frankly because, for one thing, I get scared of the dark and the monsters that might be in it, and I want to have my fire going all night long. Another reason is, if it rains, and rains hard, it could put my fire out. And if I am out here in the rain, soaking wet, if my shelter fails me, or if I get up in the morning and it's still raining or something, I want my fire to be going all night long, because I don't want to have to rebuild it. So, I've got some good logs on there. They should burn pretty good. And I'm going to go get a bit more reserve wood. I've got camp established. It's about 6:20. I'm going to go look off the edge into the valley here and probably just sit down and enjoy the evening a little bit before it gets dark. Checking out the view. Looks like I kind of got company. Somebody horseback. Pretty cool view. I'm so happy that I'm actually doing this. This is neat. I found a bit more fungus that I believe I can eat, so that's nice. It's getting about dark, getting kind of hard to see, so I figure I better start cooking up my mushroom and settling in for the night. Got my mushroom cooking away. Well, it's about 8:40 at night. Sitting by the fire and eating my mushrooms. Don't know if you can see the little chunks in there. Anyway, life is good. It's 6:30 in the morning, raining on me. Still got a little bit of a smolder going, so I'll resurrect my fire and see how the day turns out. Got my fungus cooked that I found last night, so time for breakfast. Got my camp packed up, ready to go. It's about 8:30 and I'm gonna go see if I can find some fish to eat, because I'd like a little bit more than the 3 mushrooms I've eaten so far. Alright, I found some more food. Yippee! Great. Better store it away. This is great. Even if I don't catch any fish, I can still have something to eat. More cool scenery. Pretty fresh. I've been expecting to see more of this, but this is the freshest stuff that I've seen. Heard 2 bugles yesterday. One was about 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and one of them was sometime in the middle of the night. Heard one cow blow at me when I was rearranging firewood at my camp in the middle of the night, but that's been about it so far. With the rain and all the bogs that I have to walk through, my boots are getting pretty wet. I'm probably gonna have to try and dry them out tonight when I get a camp and fire going. Looks like I may have found Dry Fork Creek, the main one. I guess we'll find out. Just keep following it downhill, and if it isn't the main creek, it'll join it. Found the canal diversion. Hiking down the canyon. Kind of rough going. The first little raspberry that I found. Hopefully I'll find a couple more here. Got to check it out. Oh, looks like there's one there. Cool. It's about 12:30. It's starting to get serious about raining, I think. So I'm taking cover under a ledge. I'm not sure how far away from my destination lake I am. I'm sure I'm within 2 miles. I might be within 1. But I'm going to stop for a breather and try and stay kind of dry. Got a little hail coming down. Well, I'm glad I've got a ledge to hide under. Makes it a lot nicer than it would be out there. Well, the hail moved on for the most part, and now it's just raining a lot. It's really going to be testing my fire building skills. So I just pulled these off that tree. They've been under pretty good shelter, and they're feeling pretty dry, so I'm going to stick them in my pack and have them available for when I'm going to try and build a fire in a while. It's just keeping coming. Very grateful I was blessed to come to this dry spot right before it started coming down. Well, I think the sunshine's trying to come through. The rain slowed down to a fine mist now, so I think it's time to dig out my rain slicker jacket thingy and continue on. Looks like winter time now. Hallelujah. I found evidence that I'm closing in on my lake. 20 more minutes-ish probably, hopefully. These look like treasures. Man. It's about time. I see the lake. I'm so glad to be here finally. I'm so sick of slipping on all these wet rocks and sliding down the hillsides and tripping over branches and my feet and everything else. Now I gotta try and get a fire going. These trees actually did a pretty good job of keeping things dry, or at least dry-ish, underneath of them. That's way better than out here. So, anyway, I am very grateful for that. Hopefully, fire starting won't be too difficult after all. My tripod had an unfortunate incident with a tree, so now it's even more broken than what it was, but I think it will suffice at this point to do my fire video and maybe a couple of others. One thing I like to try and do when I'm building a fire with magnesium shavings is get a little Y-shaped stick and then start piling my little tinder pieces on top of it so that I'll be able to just pick up my whole thing and move it over once I get my magnesium started. So that's what I'm doing at the moment. Okay, so once I get my fire going here on this rock, I'm going to pick up the rock and move it over and build up the fire over there, because I'm thinking I might sleep under this tree since it's dry. So anyway, I've got my magnesium pile, I've got my wad of dry-ish grass and stuff, I've got my little tinder that I'm going to put on top, so here we go. Here we maybe go. No, I think it's starting to work. There we go. That's better. Burn, baby, burn. You can do it. Well, maybe not this time. Well, try again. I'm gonna get some shavings off this. Hopefully, since I just barely broke this off, the inside will be a little bit drier and I'll be able to get some good shavings that'll help me out here. Another thing I'm going to do, which I meant to do with the first one but forgot, is I'm going to add some pine sap in here, because once it gets burning, it's pretty good stuff. It likes to help fires go. So, okay, I've got a new pile of magnesium. I've got my little movable tinder thing. I'm going to put some shavings. I'm going to put my shavings on that. And I've got more tinder here. I don't know if you can see it in the camera, maybe just barely. And anyway, hopefully this time will work. Let's see, camera's still running. Okay, good. Come on, dry that stuff out and catch it on fire. Yes, just like that. Pretty please. Burn, burn, burn. Yes. Time to move it. Success. I'll have another fire tonight. That's good. So I think, let me zoom out a little bit. I'm gonna put my tarp on this log. I've been using my knife to cut off the knots and lumps, so there's less chance of my tarp getting a hole poked in it. I think I'll put my tarp on this in a way that I can sleep right here on the ground, and I think I'll probably move my fire to right in here somewhere. That way I can see it and possibly even feed it from my bed. And I can sit there on the log and watch the fire or prepare my food or whatever. So that's the plan. sleeping bag will keep this portion pretty much where it needs to be, especially if I'm laying in it. And then I can flip this over the top and keep it open where I can either see or feed the fire. I've got a rock holding this corner of the tarp down. So I think I'm more or less set up for the night. Here's the mushrooms I gathered today on my travels. Pretty good collection. They're pretty dirty, but when you're surviving off the land, you can't be too picky. Got my mushrooms cooking away. So I wanted to try my hand at fishing. I took the paracord little section apart. Took the white core pieces out and tied them together. Then put a hook on one end. So I'm going to go see if I can find a worm and see if I can catch a fish. Okay, here goes. I got my worm on the hook. Got my line all tied together. See what we can figure out. The little pine tree is my fishing pole. The line's down there. I tied a rock to it to keep it from wandering around for a sinker. So we'll see what happens. Let me go check on my fishing line. See if it's done any good. Well, string's straightened out. That's a good indicator. Oh my goodness. Oh my word. I got a whopper. Well, fishing line on paracord works. Well, I was excited about catching a fish and I didn't look where I was kneeling down. Guess where I knelt down. Let's try it again. See if we can catch something a little bigger this time. Let me go check my line again. If I haven't caught anything, I think I might move it to a different spot if my rock sinker hasn't gotten snagged. Didn't get snagged. I still have bait. Yeah, still got it. I'll try it in a different spot this time. Checking my fishing line. It's definitely not where I left it last, so that's good. Let's see what I got. A snag. I've got a fish down there under the log. See him flashing around? Gotta figure out a way to get him. He's a lot bigger. It's the morning of my last day out here. Got my breakfast fire going, warmed up my mushrooms, getting ready to cook a nice fish. Just wanted to say that I apologize for not doing a better job of videoing a lot of the stuff that I did out here, like gathering material for my fire and putting my fishing line together. My phone battery didn't have very much room and it's pretty low right now. So I did my best with what I had. Let's see. Oh yeah, another thing was I wish I would have been able to do more with my knife, like making a bow drill fire instead of using my magnesium fire starter, but time and weather didn't permit this trip. So hopefully next time I'll be able to do a bow drill fire and use my knife some more. Also, I wanted to use natural cordage for tying up my tarp and making a shelter. Obviously that didn't happen this trip. I used paracord. But Maybe next time. Regardless, since this is my first survival trek and I did it solo, I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. Think it's about ready to eat. Okay, it's 8:20 and I'm on my way out of here. Finally found some bear tracks. I made it! I survived. Got back to the trailhead, got back to a road, and now I hope my bike is still where I left it. Good. It is.